Hello, welcome back to episode 2 of Once Upon a Time, What Happened Next. This time we're going to look at the story of Jack and Jill. As we know, Jack and Jill went up the hill, terrible accident, Jack ends up injured. Jack and Jill then end up in a situation where they're in a bit of a panic. They're self-employed fetching pails of water, and with Jack in bed, what are they going to do for income? They've got bills to pay, they've got a mortgage, they might lose the house. The good news is that Jack and Jill took out income protection. So Jill rang the insurance company, explained the situation. They asked, what's the situation with Jack? How injured is he? Well, she said, I don't really know because we've been trying to get through to the doctors and they can't see him for weeks. The insurance company suggested that she have a look at the extras that are built into her income protection policy, because one of them is a remote GP service. That meant that Jill was able to get a GP to see Jack remotely straight away. The remote GP assessed Jack and immediately referred them to the hospital. Off they went to the hospital, where the consultant took an x-ray and confirmed that Jack had broken his crown, fractured his skull. The problem was there was some complications, and it meant that Jack was going to be off work for at least 6 months, and he'd need to be cared for the first few months at least. Oh no, said Jack and Jill. What are we going to do? We can't take 6 months off work. They rang the insurance company again. This is what the doctor said. We've got to take 6 months off work. Jack can't work. He's got a fractured skull. I've got to look after him. How are we going to pay the bills? Don't worry, said the insurance company. First of all, if you can send us a copy of the x-ray and the doctor's notes to confirm that he's fractured his skull, your policy has fracture cover. That means we can pay you a lump sum of money straight away to help with the initial bills and costs. That's great news, said Jack and Jill. Next, we can start paying after 1 month's waiting period, because that's what you chose when you took out the policy. We can start paying Jack's income, or 50% of Jack's income, which is what you insured for. Brilliant, that's fantastic news. But what about the fact that I've got to care for Jack, said Jill. I can't go to work and I can't do the work on my own. That's okay as well. Your policy also has carer's benefit built in, Jill, which means that whilst you're caring for Jack, you too can be making a claim and we can pay you a bit of your salary too. Such relief, said Jack and Jill. That means that we can pay all of our essential bills, we won't lose the house, and we can keep the wolf from the door. Got a few questions, said Jack. What happens when I do feel well enough to go back to work, but I don't feel well enough to go back full time? What happens then? It's okay, said the insurance company. What we can do is we can pro-rata your claim. So we'll just reduce the amount that we pay you under the policy based on how many days a week you can work. As you increase the amount of days you can work, we'll lower the amount of payment that we make under the policy. That's great, said Jack. What if I go back to work a little bit too soon? What if I feel well, go back to work full time, you stop paying, and then actually I realise I've bitten off more than I can chew here and I have to go back to only doing 3 days a week? That's fine. What we can do is just reopen the claim as long as you are coming back to us within 6 months of us closing the initial claim, said the insurance company. Well, that's good, said Jack. Then Jill said, hang on, if we claim, does that mean our insurance premiums go up? No, said the insurance company. Your insurance premiums with us were set when we took on the policy. So unless you, Jack and Jill, change the amount of cover that you're asking us to provide, we can't change the premiums just because you've had a claim. That's fantastic, said Jack and Jill. Oh, that's taken so much pressure off us. Now, we don't have to worry about all of the bills. Jack can get well, and we've not got to stress about going back to work too soon. So what's the moral of the story? Quite simple. Have a think about income protection. Think about what would happen if you had to take 6 months off work. Would you be able to meet all of your bills? What if it wasn't 6 months? What if it was a year? What if it was 2 years? The average time for one of these claims is 6 years. What would you do for income if you were off work for 6 years? Thanks very much. Bye.